Welcome back, guys, to very last session of our EK Expo. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm pretty much sure, and I'm really sure that you will enjoy this one. Oh, Joe. So again, with us, Attila and Joe, like usual thing, I would say these few days. So we will just start with some news. This session is now what's cooking.
Yeah,
what's cooking, Attila?
So as you were able to see our video that we just shown, we were talking about flow meters, fitting extenders, and the vertical GPU bracket. Now we have already mentioned everything during these 5 days. We have shown the flow meter, we have shown the fittings recently, but now we will be talking about the vertical GPU bracket. So there are many vertical GPU brackets already on the market, but we thought that we could do it a bit better. So the main difference with ours is that it's made from thicker sheet metal. So we are using 1.5 millimeters of sheet metal, where others usually use just 1 millimeter thick sheet metal. So this alone makes it quite rigid, but the key point of this is that we added one more support bar on the right side of the board, which actually screws onto standard ATX mounting points on your board. This adds additional horizontal structural integrity to it, because if you have a standard vertical GPU bracket, all of them could flex around back and forward. So we have fixed this by adding one more bracket to it. We have also made two versions of it, and Joe will explain why we have two of these versions made.
Yep, so the one you see on the motherboard actually has the I/O directly against the back of the case. And you can only use this if you have a case with an open rear I/O design with none of the horizontal bars. You can use this if you push for space and you want to cut them out. But if you want to leave them intact and leave the case unmodified, we also have the shifted version, which gives you a little space in between the back of the graphics card and the case to route your cables to the display ports.
Cool. And it comes also with the riser?
Yes. It will be also supplied with the card. Now, this is not the final design. We are still making a few minor tweaks to it, but it is very similar to the end product. And of course, that the most important thing here is the additional bracket, which would fixate the whole thing, so that even if you're shipping your case somewhere, it would be 100% fail-safe.
We already have some questions regarding the brackets. So I'm in need of vertical GPU bracket, but with possibility to angle it. So the GPU would be a bit diagonally and would point to CPU. Any option that there will be an adjustable vertical mount?
We have been considering this, but if you are liquid cooling mostly, then you are fixed to a 90-degree or a 45-degree angle. Now, if you want to flip the GPU 45-degree, this would use a lot of space, and we are not sure if you have enough space there that you can flip the GPU 45-degree. This would also bring the in and out ports closer to the board, so routing the tubes is also a bit harder. So right now we are not offering something like this, but maybe one day we will.
We have to investigate first.
Yeah.
So one question about the, it's not about the bracket, because now we're in the section. So guys, if you want to have some answers, please shoot us the questions and we will answer them. So any information on inertia pump tops, will they fit on Revo X-Top D5? We were talking, I think, about it already.
Yeah.
But
Yep,
we can
yep. They will be coming as a standalone part, also as a body. So you can add the inertia top to your existing D5, and they'll be compatible with all existing LIAN D5s, whether you have it from a Revo or from a X-Top from 5 years ago. All D5s are compatible.
So we will be first launching the whole pump together with the top, but later on we will also launch the acetal and also the acrylic top standalone, so that if you already own a pump, you can just upgrade your existing pump top.
So I'm still waiting for some more questions. So guys, please shoot us a question. Attila and Joe are eager to answer them, so please use them. It's the last time this year, not this year probably, but in this expo, so
Yeah.
you can also ask them afterwards, of course. But now live, they are here, so please. Okay, already. Look, thanks. Will we get new GPU backplates in new finishes, possibly the new titanium one, like you were showing?
This is,
Maybe not the titanium, actually, because the matte black finish and the satin titanium finish from the fittings, they're very difficult to apply evenly to a big flat surface. So a backplate would immediately show some imperfections, and we'd have to reject a lot of parts. But we can possibly look to more anodized colors on the backplates with the coming releases. There's no problem for us to do red, blue, green, gold, purple that we have in all the torque fittings. So,
talking about fittings, will there be an Epsilon style fitting on the new line?
I don't think so, because right now we have the fitting, which is a T-style fitting, so which is exactly the same. The Y fitting has a really limited number of use scenarios, so I don't think that we will have the Y fitting. Unfortunately, sorry.
Fair enough. One thing regarding the riser cable, is this riser cable shielded and capable of higher power draw?
This is a Lee heat riser cable. Everyone who has been into these risers know who is Lee heat, and everyone respects him. So this is a generation 3 riser cable, which is quite enough for all of the modern GPUs at this moment.
So basically also no compromises there. So,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Regarding the, what do you recommend to put GPU vertically or horizontally? And are there any temps difference when you have vertical or horizontal GPU position?
I don't think you can expect to see any difference in the way the block performs, but it might, either scenario might allow you to make a neater loop with less turns and help with fittings, help with positioning of parts. And this is always a learning process throughout every build. You often have an idea, it doesn't work out, and turning it up might just make things fit. So
The important thing is that you bleed the air out.
Yeah,
yep.
This is the only impact. So if you have it horizontally, it is very easy to bleed. But if you have it vertically, you might have to tilt your case back and forward a few more times.
You have to check it in a while because air can circulate and get stuck in the GPU. No?
This is the only potential downside of having it vertically.
A kind of an odd question, but is there a chance that EK will bring back the D-Bay?
Is there a chance that case manufacturers will bring back 5 1/4 inch for everyone? I think it's looking quite slim.
Are there any plans for distro plate for the upcoming 011 mini case?
I think it's quite obvious that we have a relationship with LIAN-LI at the moment. Won't say much more than that, but...
Don't touch the table, please.
Oh, sorry.
This is a table.
Of course.
Which one is it?
It's not a mini table.
Okay, then you answered the question, so I think
Yeah.
we can get something out of your sentence. Okay, one, it's not connected with the table, but will there be a 140 version of Extreme fan?
We have got this question many times, and it looks like we will really have to consider of actually making it, because
There's a lot of questions.
yeah, there's a lot of questions. Jake already told us that there is a high demand, but obviously now we are getting even more high demand live, so we will just have to make all the business calculations and do it.
Yeah, makes sense. So we're still waiting for a few questions. So now, what should we move to the table, or
We can move to
the table?
Yeah.
So should we talk about it a little bit? Should I press the G point, or
press the G
I
point.
will press the G point?
So
yeah, Attila, Joe.
Joe will take over this part because he has been working on most of the parts, which
This is the tubes we were talking about.
yeah.
This is what we were mentioning, and this is the build with 66 fittings for sure. Yeah.
And no leak.
No leak, perfect. First time today.
Yeah, it's good. You made it good for the first time, for your first build. So it's okay.
Of course, yeah. And actually 2 builds in here.
Yeah.
This is the DK-05F, the biggest, craziest desk offering that LIAN-LI have with dual systems, and I don't think it's quite available yet, but we're probably the first people to show a build, and that's really exciting. So we had to rush this from the airport to put this in before the end of the expo.
Yeah. So should we take the glass off?
Yeah, sure.
Let's
Yeah,
give
I
everyone a
think-
close
yes.
look.
Yeah.
It's a very special glass, which has some electronics in there, so that you can also make it non-see-through, as you were able to see. This desk has many functions. It can also go up and down, and of course you can build a dual system in it. But Joe will now tell you more about the coolant distribution system inside this case, which is very unique.
Yep, so I think the first thing that will hit you is the 1.2 meter long manifold across the front of the case. And this is really substantial. We wanted to make a distribution plate for this because it's a really interesting form factor, and it made the build so much easier to have this. The pumps are actually located at the back where the fan would traditionally be, in what will become a universal 140 distribution plate. You can see it has 2 inlets and outlets that go to the manifold for expansion, and 2 that go to the CPU. But if you wanted to build a simple loop, this could be 2 to the radiator and 2 to the CPU, and your full loop's done. Also on show in there is a few special magnitude blocks, the Threadripper on one system and the AM4 block on the other, and sporting the DRGB upgrade kit, but on a plexi version. So lighting outwards, and you get a real nice detail of DRGB around the outside. So the manifold itself on the front, they're individual depending which side desk you choose. Maybe you'll do your build on the left, maybe on the right, maybe both. So they're almost a perfect mirror of each other, and they send coolant down to the middle radiators, to the radiators that are in the front of the case, and the GPUs. So we cover everything without covering the hardware. That was the real challenge with this distribution plate. If we made a huge flat plate with the pump in, you wouldn't see the system. So we want every EK piece to be on show, and of course, the other hardware that's in there. So,
one question: how many liters in this build? How many liters of coolant?
I think it was 1.5 liters
per
each.
Yeah, just about 3 liters.
Oh, cool. Maybe Attila, you can maybe or Joe also, you can just evaluate. Of course, guys are asking, how much cost the distro plate mounted on the desk? How much will we be selling it? Will this be made for this chassis, for this table, or?
Yes.
It will come with the table, or do you know anything about it already?
So the table will come from LIAN-Li, and we will be supplying the distribution plate. It will actually come as 3 separate products. So the left manifold, the right manifold, and the universal distribution from the back. And you obviously need 2 distribution plates to make the set with left and right manifold if you want everything. Pricing's not yet set, but for what it does for such a complete system, I think it will be quite reasonable, because we've really simplified the manifold. It doesn't have the pump in, so most of the machining is from one side, and although very elegant with its 600mm DRGB strip, and a whole lot of ports depending on where you want to put your GPUs, it's actually quite a simple part, and we have a really, really nice finish on it. And the little guys from the back, hopefully these will be popular for other cases as well, not just the desk.
Basically, this would also make building the loop quite simple, because you have built this system mostly today.
Yep.
How much time did you need? Like 4 hours, maybe less.
I think we actually built the whole system in 10 hours. But that was 2. We had the
Desk also was,
Yeah, we put the desk together, and we had one guy for each system, and we plowed through, and we were done in less than 24 hours.
One question, because basically, okay, we say how many liters of coolant we know. Okay, how many pumps are needed for this setup, and how many radiators? I see 4 radiators.
So up front, there are 2 PE480s, and that's actually what the manifold's mounted to. So 4 VADAs and a PE for each side. And then in the middle, there's space for a second radiator. Quite comfortably, a 240 will go. And we managed to squeeze our biggest 360 radiator, the 360XE. So we have a 360 and a 480 for each system.
Does it make V8 sounds? We haven't pressed all the buttons yet, so we maybe.
And also both of the loops are running on a single D5, which is more than enough for a loop of this side. Basically, you would have something similar inside the case. Just Sandy has it next to him. It is a dual radiators, GPU, CPU with a single D5.
Peak is basically a same loop.
Yeah.
That's, one not connected with the table itself, but one question: what are the ideal temperature to strive for to run CPU and GPU? Is there any ideal temperature for this for it, or
I think
you just have to be under the throttling, or what's the...
Definitely. With the CPU, I think the critical temperature really is 90 for most CPUs, and it's nice if you're running a lot less. If you're running 60 degrees, that's lovely. But for GPUs, this is where liquid cooling really comes into its own, and the lower temperature you can keep it, the faster it will run, all the way down to just 30 degrees. It will perform better than 50. So the cooler you can get your GPU, the better, the closer to ambient.
Also lifetime?
Yep.
Influence?
Yep.
I mean, it will also depend on what are you after, because a few years back, I had a case which had like really bad airflow, but I was after aesthetics and just silence. So I had idle temperatures around 40 degrees, but I was after only silence and aesthetics. So if I would have air cooling in there, it would have been much, much worse, and it would have been loud. So it is really depending on what are you after.
One question about, can you give, maybe Joe, can you give some hardware specs for the desks, for what is inside of the hardware?
In the DAX, we have TRX 40 master and an X570 master, both from ASUS, with the, I think we have 32-core Threadripper and 8-core Ryzen in the second system. This is a 2080 Ti and a 2070 in the second system, each with G-Skill Royal and Western Digital M2 drives. So a pretty substantial spec. We could have had 4 GPUs on this side, no problem, but this was the most we could scavenge in the office. Because all of our hardware is in the other Expo build, so we did really well to put this together without destroying any.
May I ask if the flow meter unit will connect direct to motherboard or only the EK loop connect to provide diagnostic data such as flow rate?
Only the EK connect, and actually we will be having a single flow meter unit, but we will be also launching physical flow indicators which have no readout, only just physically show that it is spinning. So it will only work with work with our I don't even know. Do we have any motherboards that would have headers for flow meters?
Questions are coming in. Which coolant is in there? The color of this coolant. This is our.
This is white.
Just white.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Waiting some. Okay. Okay. Will there be? I think you both talked about it yesterday, but anyway, we'll answer it. Where there'll be nickel version of the flow meters? You were talking about the black. We have the black. I think we're talking about.
Yeah. We had thought only about black, but obviously now we see that there is a demand also for nickel version. So I am pretty sure that we will be also be doing nickel versions as well. Makes sense.
Of course, and also it's not a
big deal.
Because there's different coating. Attila, that's I think this for you. Mystic Fog coolant release date.
1 month, one and a half. Coming soon. 1 month or 1.5, something like that. Right now we have been starting our open testing period, and we will be running it for 1 month, well, 1.5, just to make sure that it is really holding up, and then we will be launching it. So we just really want to make sure that that it works, and also later on we will be launching the black coolant as well.
Cool. So guys, really use the time. We have around about 10 minutes. Then we wrap it up. So shoot the questions. Still waiting for them. So can you maybe share maybe your thoughts about the expo in meantime while we're waiting for the questions, or can you share anything? Just want to say something to the audience, or?
Yeah, we've been very busy doing this, and not just the recording, not just what we had, but also the build-up of the products for this. We always enjoy doing the shows, and it's a great motivator to get a lot done and get it out, because when you see everyone's excited about it, then it really pushes us in the months after the expo as well to get the products out.
To make it happen.
Yep, and it's always great to collect some new ideas, and this live format's been really enjoyable. We can hear some direct feedback from customers, and we can give some direct answers. So
it's a special experience being live. That's
yeah, for sure.
I think that we will keep doing live streams. I mean, maybe monthly, maybe even more than more than just once a month, and for sure we will be making more video materials. We would also like to make all of our blogs, which are now written, to be available in a more smooth format, because the younger people these days don't really like to read, so we have to bring everything that we have to them in a more acceptable format.
Oh, questions are popping in. Thanks, guys. Are there any plans for new multi-GPU terminals?
Right now we have the scalar terminal, which is compatible with the current generation of blocks, the vectors, and I think functionally it does everything that the current generation requires. We don't have anyone running 3 cards on mainstream boards or anything that would need an unusual offset anymore. So I hope that we have everything covered, but if there's a specific terminal that somebody needs, we're listening.
Or we are, of course. We are
Yep.
saying that basically we're listening to you guys, so anything needed, reach out to us.
Yep.
We can help you. So yeah, would you consider doing in-depth tutorial and demo videos? This is basically
Yeah,
what we are just talking about.
We must.
We must, of
must.
course. That's because most of them are not reading anymore. So will be a more detailed distro plate for this desk, like 2 CPU, 4 GPU setup support for the motherboard.
I think we've covered everything here with this distro plate, and as you can see, we're able to pick 2 random motherboards and 2 GPUs, and they fit in with only straight tubes. I know we used some double females, but they will be really simple bands to make. So
Maybe they were just unable to see, but can you tell how many ports do we have from one side?
I can only say lots of them. Lots
Yeah.
of them. So.
yeah, so for each GPU, we have actually 20 ports.
That's some flexibility there.
So there are 2 inlets if you have the first GPU in the first and second slot, and then there are 8 outlets. So no matter where the lower GPU is, you can go back up to that.
There is also ports on the front side and also on the bottom side of the distro as well. So you have a lot of options of how to actually make the loop.
If you don't like this look where the tubes are all flat to each other, prominent on the top side, and you want to show more hardware, all of these tubes can instead go down first and under to keep them lower profile, and you'll get a better view of the hardware you have.
We received positive feedback we have to continue doing live streams, so thanks. I appreciate it. Any idea about flexible mount for reservoir? Currently, most of them can only mount in one position. Height, I would say.
So we have made the L style bracket, which can be slided back and forward, but currently we don't have any plans about any more flexible than that, but definitely we will also consider making more flexible mounting mechanism. What we did was a big step for us, because before we only had just a few mounting holes. Recently we have also released a spider mount, which is offset, which you can also rotate so that you can move your pump back, forward, left and right. So we are looking into this, but we don't have anything specific planned at this moment.
I see guys want to have more details about this table, so it's just a question. Will you have lots of photos of the desk you built on Facebook or Instagram? I can only say, of course.
Yes.
Joe didn't build it just for now. Of course, we'll use some time to make detailed shots, so I think it makes sense. Any plans on more universal distro plates like 120, 140, 360? I think we also covered that in the past days, but you can
Yep, you can see here the 140, and this will be the first offering, and it's also a different play on the FLT, right? And here we have the pump on the front, so it gets mounted flush at the back of the case, and I think this will sit really nicely alongside the I/O of most motherboards. You can also use it in 3 different orientations. It has a fill and drain on all 3 corners, so you can swap it around and do what works for you. And this is something we'll definitely expand up. It's actually really tricky to make it in a 120. If you take a 120 format and the pump's on the front, you have almost no space left for ports, with a D5 anyway. So possibly we'll look at a small form factor option with a different pump, and we'll scale this up to 240, 360, 280, whichever excites people the most.
Sorry, I just had one comment. Can you guys make your stuff less exciting? I'm running out of money. One comment. Sorry, guys.
Whoops.
Whoops. I think one question, we just answered this. I think you answered it already. You teased a spoiler from the last session, and then we will wrap it up. Any plans on more? I don't know. What tubes did you use in the desk build? Was it glass? It's not glass.
This is 16 millimeter PETG actually. Cut with the Dremel for speed.
It was a fast build, yeah.
Okay, and now one last question. Will there be any thicker radiator released in the future? I know we talk also about it, but about what slim and...
I think that the XE is thick enough. Also, there is not a lot of cases on the market which would support anything thicker than that. These days, even XE is a bit hard to find a case which actually supports it. So I don't think that we will ever be making anything.
And on the other hand, also
bigger
it's
than
a
the
challenge to have a proper fan for that radiator.
Yeah, but the XE is a fantastically efficient radiator, and it was topping most performance charts when it was released with ease. So I don't think we could actually get more out of an AT unless you wanted to run push-pull Meltemis and have a 200 millimeter radiator sandwich, in which case go for it.
Okay, now we'll wrap it up. I think Attila, I will just let maybe just finishing word and then I will close it. So.
Well, we have really enjoyed this experience. It was a fun 5 days. Usually we would be doing something else because we would be somewhere else, but unfortunately that was cancelled, moved away. So we have made this live expo so that everyone can watch from their home, and we have also decided to make these live streams so that people can interact more with us, so that we get live feedback. So we have really enjoyed it, and we really hope that you liked it as well. And if you did, then we will be making these kind of streams. So yeah.
Really, guys, thanks for watching. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Attila, for really, you did a tremendous job, and really all the sessions really educational. So thanks a lot, guys.
Welcome.
Thanks for watching. Like Attila said, this was our first digital event. It's not the last one.
For sure.
I hope you liked it, and the next one will be even better. So thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
And we can just also say, coming soon.
Coming soon.
Everything's coming soon.
Everything coming soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.